Hey guys, it's Nina with Get Right Nina, and I just wanted to make a video. I just finished exercising, and before I get started on my job search and everything like that, which is what I'm doing, I wanted to stop by and say hi and kind of talk to you guys about something that's been pressing me. I have two videos. The first one is for the ladies and to kind of encourage them, and then the second one will be for the fellas. That video will probably piggyback somewhere within about a week's time of this video, so you'll want to look out for that. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, and let's get into it. I wanted to make this video because I've seen so many videos of interracial dating, and I love that. That's so sexy to me. My first boyfriend was Italian, so that doesn't bother me. And I think for a lot of black women, or for some black women, they don't mind interracial dating or even seeing brothers with white females. I don't think that bothers me so much. I hope it doesn't bother other females, black females, but I think a lot of times it does bother them because of the stigma of why they date white women. So a lot of times you'll hear some black men or black men say they don't deal with a black woman's attitude. White women seem to be more subservient and stuff like that. And I have friends who are have a diverse background and cultures, and that's just not the complete truth. The truth of the matter is most African American homes are head up by a female. There's not always a strong male presence. Even if she has a grandfather or an uncle or a big brother, there's not always enough influence in her seeing how dating, how marriage is handled. So you might have this black woman who has no experience seeing what it is to be vulnerable to a black man, versus this white woman who, even though her parents may have lived in the same house and then when she went to college got divorced, at least she saw what it looks like to have this strong male figure. She saw her mom cook, clean, balance the checkbook. She's had this privilege. Now, I'm not saying that's always the case, so please, before you get it twisted, understand where I'm coming from. I'm talking about the majority of homes in the African American community, unfortunately, are head up by females. So you have this female who has to be both this strong presence for her kids so that she doesn't look weak, so that she's strong, so that she handles her business. And then you have her having a hard time adjusting to a strong black man, because what happens is she's had to be strong for so long, and she's been rejected, she's been neglected, abused. A lot of times she doesn't always know how to be soft. But to be honest with you, and I know this sounds like it's a deflecting tactic, it really isn't. It's the truth. I'm disappointed in black men because it is a representation of your inability to love a woman in the rough places. Black men are always saying, oh, I want a sister who will be there for me when I have nothing, and who will hold me down when I'm in my worst, and this and that. But they won't do it. But at the same time fail to do it for us, and as a scapegoat and as a quick escape will date outside their race to what they think is more subservient. And then a lot of times, and I know this is just gonna be raw and it's gonna be rugged, a lot of times they'll date a white woman and cheat and do all kinds of sneaky stuff. And if they do love that white woman, they take advantage of her because they think she's weak, when really she might not be weak. She's just doing what she saw modeled for her. Okay, and so then what happens is, when that sister, white sister, because she's a sister too, when she flips out and cut your car up and your clothes and burn your house down, then you want to put her on the news and say she's a crazy white female. So in reality, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you get a black sister who's rough around the edges, who hasn't seen vulnerability, who hasn't seen softness, candlelight, sweetness, all this stuff, who's had to be work 2 and 3 jobs, who had to be rough and stuff like that. And instead of you saying, you know what, let me love literally the hell out of this woman and show her that she can trust me, show her that she can trust her heart with me, show her that I got her, she's good. and change the stigma of what's out there. Build the black community. Show the strength in family and numbers. Raise these boys to do the same thing. Instead, what you do is you take a scapegoat and say, meh, all black women got attitudes. But you would have an attitude too if Tyrone told you, or Danny, or whoever his name is, Charles, whatever, told you, girl, you looking fine, I love you, get with you, make you feel like, oh, he answers every text, every call, sleep with you, build your emotions up, and then turn around, lay with you and impregnate you, because it takes two to tango, and then act like he's there the whole time, and then when the responsibilities come, cowards out because it's frightening for him, and deuces, and you see that pattern, you would be a little rough around the edges too. Or if you've had to work 2 and 3 jobs because Tyrone wants to ball out and make everybody think that he got this and that, instead of taking care of responsibilities and living humbly until he really does have this and that, and you now have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, you would be a little rough around the edges too. Or let's just say you've been burned by a man who's living a down low lifestyle, and now for the rest of your life you're living with HIV. Or you're dating a man who tells you, baby, you know what, just hide this, stash this, you don't got no record, you might just do a year or 2 years, and now you've done that 1 or 2 years and brother's nowhere to be found. You would be a little rough around the edges too. So before you knock black women for their attitude, evaluate what's causing their attitude. How can I be a workable, effective solution and be a part of the solution, not part of the problem, and putting black women down? Because then what that does is permeates and continues to continues the progress and the process of black against black, this division and division. And then that'll be the same man. Guess what? Because God don't like ugly. That'll be the same man who have so much problems in his life because instead of him putting on his big boy drawers, handling conflict, loving the hell out of this woman, and creating a legacy unlike any other, raising kids to do the same, he feels the easier solution is to date another culture and then run into the same problems, because the reality is we're a lot of times, most humans, we face the same thing, one with another in another community. That's what cracked me up about racism. Because you got white people in the EBT line just like you got black people. You got white people and Indian people and African people on the news killing each other just like you got black people. You got Hispanic people jumping the fence just like you got Africans in the boat. It does not matter. We're human beings and we all struggle with something. Sally got the same issues that Botica got. Okay, Benson got the same problems that Darnell got. Okay, it's all about perspective, dealing with it, and not cowering out and running from what you can be a part of and changing the world's perspective on us, on each other, on yourself. Don't assume that you date a white woman, you're going to get the picket fence and you're going to get the dog running and she's going to make you a sandwich for every 2 seconds. Even if she does do that, in all honesty, that's a reflection of her own low self-esteem, because any woman wants a man that's able to handle his own business and not look for someone to take care of his needs the rest of his life. A marriage really is not 50-50. It's 100-100. So if you go into the mindset looking for someone to take care of you, basically you don't want a wife. You want a mother. Okay, and that's a whole nother video in and of itself. You want a mother. You don't want a wife. Because regardless if she's black, Puerto Rican, or Haitian, you should be able to say, you know what? I'm a man. I'm a grown man. I can make my own sandwich. I can make my own doctor's appointments. I don't need a secretary. It's a blessing that she's a helpmeet. But guess what? I'm a helpmeet just as much as she's a helpmeet. Let's keep it 100. Because I'm pretty sure Adam tended so much in the garden. Eve came alongside. But Adam had this. She only had to help. But see, a lot of times men don't want help. They want enablement. They want someone who maybe within themselves they don't have proper boundaries. A real man, when I say a real, if you are a real man, please don't get offended. If you need some tweaking, don't get offended. We all need to grow and change, myself included. But a real man says, how can I bless this woman? I see potential. She might be a little snappy, a little snazzy, but I see greater for her. Let me not just assume I'm gonna get better in the next. Let me tend to this. Let me work this out. Let me help her see that she's a true asset and not allow her to feel she's the problem, she's a liability. Because let's keep it 100, I can go down to the Willie Lynch letters, and if you don't know about that, you better ask somebody, Google. So while you're sitting there thinking that black women are the problem, read your history, learn your history, look at Willie Lynch letters. You're basically only doing what was been set up in society for it to happen. And now guess what the sad thing about that is? You not even knowing you're blaming a black woman for what. I'm not gonna go there. Read up and learn. So ladies, black women, keep being strong. Keep being effective. Keep doing what you have to do. Please don't say on Father's Day I'm a mother and a father, because you're not. You are a mother. You're not a mother and a father. You're a mother. You have to be strong for little Bobby, but you can never be a father. Honor the position that God has, and if he's a deadbeat, guess what? You laid there too. You can forgive him and move on, but you're not a father. Be strong, and if they want to date out their race, don't hate. Appreciate, because you can do it too. Anything that you can do, I can do better. Oh, okay. That's my time, because I said I was going to go over 10 minutes and I did by a minute. But I'll see y'all next time. Next video is for the brothers. So men, have patience and understand. All right. God bless y'all. Deuces.